Oh, it's really windy. You can just grab on and then step onto the boat. This is called a Pearson Ensign keel boat. It's called a keel boat because it has a huge keel underneath that's made of lead, that is super heavy, and it's so heavy that the boat physically can't tip. The boat is 23 feet long, and it has both a mainsail and a jib. The mainsail is what sails the boat. And then it's connected to these different ropes this is called the main sheet, and then these are called the jib sheets, and they connect to the jib. So as we're sailing, I am steering with, this is called the tiller, which is connected under the water to the rudder. I'm going to take this down and get it ready. The sail is reefed, which means that when it's really high wind, we don't put up the sail all the way because the force of the wind on the huge sail will actually make it slower and make it pull and drag more. So we will check that the reefing lines are all in place. And then we'll pull up the sail. It's called a square knot. There's lots of sailing knots. Yeah, you gotta learn a lot of sailing knots. It's a normal knot, but you go right over left and then left over right. So some people might do that. It's a little different. Okay, we're ready. Okay, we're sailing. My name is Malone, and I am the outreach coordinator and a sailor at Minneapolis Sailing Center. As a kid who was very active and had a lot of energy, but also lived right beside the lakes, I would just bike here and then get to sail all day and then go home exhausted. And so it was super fun. Okay.
How do you work with the wind?
Right now, the wind is coming from over here. You can feel it tipping up the boat.
Yeah.
And so right now we're on a reach or a beam reach, which means that the wind is hitting the side of our boat. Our sails have to be halfway in, halfway out, so that they're catching as much wind as possible. I feel like when I talk to other people about sailing, they often say that it's liberating, that it's freeing. It just feels like you're flying when you're on the water, and especially on these smaller boats, your body is so involved. It's an awesome feeling to have your head back, your hair falls in the water, you can reach down and touch the water, but you're still sailing and you have the tiller in your hand and you're steering, you're controlling the sail, and you're flying over the water. That's really awesome. That was a big one. This is Badamakaska, which is a Dakota word that means land of clear skies, and it is in a chain of lakes in Minneapolis, right in the middle of the city. We're big enough that we have lots of wind throughout the summer. There is a lot of times that there's no wind though as well. I'm gonna turn. It's called tacking. I'm gonna tack us through the wind, so I'm gonna switch sides as we turn. I think I was a really adventurous kid. I don't think I was that scared, but it is scary. We were sailing on smaller boats. They're called 420s, and they're racing boats. We have some of them over there, and it was super easy to tip. And you can also see that there's a ton of stuff on this boat. So especially on the 420s, which are smaller, you have to sit on all these cleats, which are things like this. So you're just sitting on them, and so you just get bruises everywhere because you're shoving your body up against all these ropes and cleats and pointy things. But I remember the first time that I ever won a race, I was with my cousin, And we, like, part of the racing technique is finding the right course. So some people might choose to turn off sooner to get a different angle, and we might stay closer to the wind to try to get there more directly. But it depends on the wind and like where your course is going on who might get there first, and like how quick you're responding with your sails and everything else. But I remember like crossing the finish line with her and us being like so excited and so happy, and feeling like, oh yeah, we run our first race, like we know how to do it, we're better than the other sailors. But it was just like a freeing feeling.
Hey Mitch, you get it? Oh, never mind, I see you.
I kind of am lucky that I learned as a kid, because I think that people think that it's like I wouldn't have maybe thought that I would want to go sailing. I didn't sail in college, I didn't sail after college, but then I was like, okay, I'm right on the lakes, I want to find a way to sail, and that's how I found Minneapolis Sailing Center. I'm actually as in social work school otherwise, and this is not my full-time year-round job, but I have found that it is so awesome to be outside in the summer. I think for me, sailing has been, the biggest piece has been that it's a way to connect with other people, and that like social aspect of like, it is so awesome to come out here with my friends. You can also drop the sails in the middle of the lake and then all swim. So it's like I can be out in the middle of the lake, it feels like no one can see me and my friends, and we're just like swimming and having an experience that's like so special. The connection with community also like brings us through different like hardships that our city has faced. Minneapolis has gone through some crazy things in the past many years. The outreach program that I run was created right after the murder of George Floyd in response, and as George Floyd actually came out sailing on one of our boats, he was invited out just by a member who was sailing, and they saw him walking by and were like, hey, do you want to go sailing? Didn't know him, but that happens a lot here, is like we are going sailing and we want to just take people out and have them experience it. So kind of that connection inspired us to create a whole new program where we bring tons of people out to the Sailing Center. I think that when I am stressed and when there's a lot happening, I go out on the water, and I go out by myself, and I have like a peaceful reflection time, and I'll like sing to myself, or I'm just like flying across the water, whatever it is. But then it's also like today you can go so fast where you have to like really be on your toes and have to be like thinking about every little thing. Your body is like bracing itself for every movement of the boat, and I think that like different dynamics of sailing and the different like things that it can bring you makes it feel different every time. I sail because it makes me feel connected to myself and other people, and I love the feeling of flying on the water and going super fast, but then also chilling and like vibing and having a good time on the water. Not that many people think that sailing is something that they can just jump on a boat and try to do, and we want to change that. We want to make sure that sailing is accessible. It's something that everyone could try and everyone could get into if they want to try it. This is why we have scholarships available, and that we have our community outreach program to help connect people to the water in new ways. Thanks.